Welcome back. The objective of this video is to explore properties of exponential inequalities and confirm that the solutions using our graphing calculator. So the properties of exponential inequalities say that if b, our base, is greater than 1, then the exponential function y equals b to the x is increasing for all values of x. That's stuff we already know. But it also means that b raised to the x is less than b raised to the y if and only if x is less than y. Now, in problem 2 here, we say if our base is between 0 and 1, so it's a fraction between 0 and 1, then the exponential function is decreasing. And this means that b to the x is greater than b to the y if and only if x is less than y. So notice here, when we have a fraction like 1/2 or 3/4 as our base, these are the opposite inequalities. b to the x is greater than b to the y if and only if x is less than y. And in 1, they're the same. So let's continue on and we'll look at sample 16. Find the solution set of the inequality. Check for extraneous solutions and verify your answer with the graphing utility. So we have 5 to the x is greater than 125x to the 5th. We're going to use our rule number 1 here because our base is going to be 5. So we're going to rewrite this in base 5. So 5 to the x and 5 cubed raised to the x plus 6. So we get 5 to the x is greater than 5 to the 3x plus 18. So we have the same base, so we can drop our bases, and we get x is greater than 3x plus 18. So we're going to use these equations here, or these portions, to graph in our graphing calculator. So we're going to graph y equals x, and we're going to graph y equals 3x plus 18. So we'll take a look at those. And then let's go ahead and solve this. When we solve this, we're going to get, subtract 3x from both sides. So we get negative 2x is greater than 18. Divide by negative 2. Good exercise here. And we get x is less than negative 9, right? We have to flip our inequality. So x is less than negative 9. We're also going to graph that. We're going to graph x is less than negative 9. So we're going to graph all 3 of these, and we want all the values. We want 5 to the x. Our x has got to be greater than y here. So we need all the x's. Need all the x's where y equals x is greater than y equals, not y equals 3x plus 9. So we're going to graph these as inequalities in our graphing calculator, and I'll show you how to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do when I get to my graphing calculator is I'm going to turn on my inequalities app. So under the apps key, I see under 7 is inequalities. You might have to cursor down a little bit further on your calculator to get that application running. So I'm going to get that application is now going. And I also want to note we've got this x equals here. We're going to graph that as well as an inequality. In fact, let's begin by going up into the x equals menu, enter, and we want to graph x is less than negative 9. That's what we came up with for x. So we're going to have a vertical line at negative 9, and we want all the x values less than that. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to cursor to the right. I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to hit enter. And now it gives me some options, and I can change my equals to less than and less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, but I want x is less than. So cursor down, okay. So now I have x is less than 9. I'm going to cursor back up to the y equals, highlight that, hit enter, and now I'm going to put my y equations in. We want y is greater than x. So I'm going to highlight that. I don't mind if that is blue. And we want y not less than, not greater than or equal to, but greater than. Y is greater than x. So here we have y is greater than x. And now we're also going to graph y is greater than 3x plus 18. So 3x plus 18. I have a sense of where this is going to be. So in my window, my x min, I'm going to go x's all the way to negative 20. I did need at least negative 9. And to the left of that, so that makes sense. My x max will be 2. I'm going to count by 2's. And then my y min, I'm going to go down to negative 20 because I'm going to be working in the third quadrant. And my y max is 2, and I'm going to count by 2's. So I have all my things highlighted, and I hit graph, and I get this big mass of different shading. And let's take a look and see what we've got going on here. I feel like I'm missing one of my graphs too. I'm missing the x is less than negative 9 because I didn't put the negative sign in. So we'll get another look at that. There we go. That's a better graph. Now I have my negative 9 in there. So I have all this cross-hatching, and we can see here that the intersection is where all three crosshatches meet, and that's going to be our solution set. We might be able to get a better picture of that. Let's go into the Calc menu. So we'll go second Calc. And instead of calculate, let's go into inequality because that's what we're running. And we don't want a point of interest by tracing. Let's look at the intersection of our inequality. That's really what we want. Is we don't want the union of it. We see that, but we want the intersection of that. It looks like we can change the color of that intersection. Let's go ahead and make it black and see what we get here. And there you go. There is our solution set. We have all the values that are greater than y equals x. That's to the left of negative 9, and that confirms our answer. In example B, now we have a different base. We have a base that's less than 1. It's between 0 and 1, so we are going to use property 2 from our notes above. And let's go ahead and get the same base here. So we have 1/3 to the 2x plus 9 is less than or equal to, that's 1/3 raised to the third raised to the x minus 3. Let's see if I can do this correctly. 1/3 to the third raised to the x minus 3. So power raised to a power, we multiply the exponents, which gives us 1/3 to the 3x minus 9, and 1/3 on the left here to the 2x plus 9. So we have 2x plus 9 is going to be less than or equal to 3x minus 9. But actually, it's not. Remember that these have the opposite signs, or the inequalities. So I am going to flip this inequality here. This guy is going to get flipped because of property 2. So we have 2x plus 9 is greater than or equal to 3x minus 9, because our base is between 0 and 1. So now we can solve for x. Subtract 2x from both sides. Add 9 to both sides. And we get 18. And x is less than or equal to 18. And now we'll try and confirm this graphically. And again, we want the 2x plus 9, all the x's, where 2x plus 9 is greater than 3x minus 9. So that's what we're looking for, all the x values where 2x plus 9 is greater than or equal to the graph of 3x minus 9. Well, we already know that those should be x's that are less than or equal to 18. So let's see what our graphing calculator tells us. So we hit y equals, we get our y equals menu. Let's go up into the x equals. It's highlighted. I've got something in there, probably from the last problem. And sure enough, I've got x is less than negative 9. But now I want the x's that are less than or equal to 18. So I'm going to go over and highlight that. Blue is fine. We want x's less than or equal to 18. That looks good. I need to change my negative 9 to 18. Now I'll go back to my y equals menu, and I'll put in my two linear equations in the y equals menu. Again, I'm going to change these. I want y is greater than or equal to 2x plus 9, and y is greater than or equal to 3x minus 9. I need to reset my window. I'm going to have my x's go from 0 to 25 because I need x's less than 18, so I got to get out to at least 25. I'm going to count by 2's. My y min, I'm going to do negative 5 because I want to see that x-axis, and I'm going to have my y max go up as high as 60. I do a little math here. If I put 18 in for x, I'm going to be up in the 40s and 50s here for these y values and these linear equations. So I'm going to go to a y max of 60. I'm going to hit second calc. I'm going to go over to inequality, and I'm going to find the intersection of these inequalities, and I hit graph, and sure enough it verifies my solution set where the blue line here, I've got 18, I've got x is less than 18, and I'm above the blue line, which is my 2x plus 9 line. So we've explored properties of exponential inequalities, and we've shown you how to confirm those using your graphing calculator, and you'll get some more practice with this when I see you in class.